Fabulous. And if any of you are not comfortable being on camera, because this is going to be recorded and added to our YouTube channel, feel free. You do not have to keep your camera on. It is always encouraged, but as Jeremy gets started, I will pin it. And then that way, hopefully, you won't be seen in it, but I can't always guarantee that. So that speaking of which, I'm going to pin you now, Jeremy. There we go. Perfect. So welcome to Do It in Durham. This is Durham's celebration of entrepreneurship, and it's held each November during Global Entrepreneurship Week. Do It in Durham Entrepreneurship Week is a collaboration of Durham's businesses support, educational, and networking organizations who have come together to encourage and support entrepreneurs, job creators, and innovators, you basically, who create economic growth in Durham region. If you're looking to start a business, invest in a business, grow a business, we encourage you to do it in the Durham region. Thank you to our sponsors. Without their support and contribution, we could not host this week. And I think, Jeremy, you have a page that lists all of them. If you want to share your screen, you can. That's great. Our premier sponsors, they're listed there. Our partner sponsors, amazing, all the towns, the cities, the municipalities, etc., who make up this amazing region. Community sponsors, Ontario Tech, the Brilliant Catalyst, Invest Pickering, Spark Center, Durham College. I know we have a couple of students here. That's awesome. Hello and welcome. Feel free to share your experiences and to help raise awareness and visibility that you are open for business. And the Durham region has a thriving business community. I will share in the chat some hashtags that you're welcome to use in all your postings. I think it's the next page, Jeremy, if it should have the list of all the sponsors. And we encourage you or invite you to subscribe to the BACD YouTube channel to receive a notification when videos are uploaded. So Jeremy has kindly allowed us to do that. And you can check out the ones already there. If you missed something that you really wanted to attend, they may have their recording up there as well. My name is Patrice Esper. I'm one of the business advisors at the BACD. I'm also the program coordinator for the Start a Company Plus program and the Start Smart program. I will be facilitating this session and monitoring the chat box. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put it there. Use this opportunity to quickly introduce yourselves in the chat. It also gives Jeremy an idea of who's in the room. And let's see, remember to include any details like your website or social media handle. So if somebody wants to reach out and learn more about you, they can. But I encourage everyone to do that after the session, but feel free to copy the chat so you have all their details. We do encourage you to turn your cameras on for a more engaging experience. However, like I said, it is being recorded, so I just want you to be aware of that. So your image may appear on the YouTube video. So thank you again. And Jeremy, welcome. So happy to have you here. Sales is essential for a successful business. So I'm excited to hear how we can build momentum over that. And I turn the torch over to you now.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Patrice. Appreciate it. All right. So first of all, before I get into my slides, am I full screen for everybody? Everybody can see me? Okay, perfect. Make sure I pin myself too. There we go. Awesome. All right. So first, yes, thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you, Patrice, and the whole team of Do in Durham for letting me be a part of it. My name is Jeremy DeMerchant. I'm hailing from just outside of Fredericton, New Brunswick. And I've had the opportunity to spend my whole life in and around sales. And so the name of this session, of course, you probably know since you're here, is Mastering Momentum, 6 Steps to Supercharge Your Sales. But before I get into all the logistics and all the tactical things around sales, I want to talk a little bit about who I am, not to brag about a bunch of things that I've done because I'm only human. I'm just like you guys. But I want to give you a reference point to where this information is coming from. Now, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay as well. My mic's all right. Good. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to start here. I might have started out as a sales guy, but now I'm a family guy. I'm a proud husband, proud father. This picture is only a few months old, and I have a hard time not tearing up when I see this picture because I'm just so grateful to have my family. And I think my whole entrepreneurial journey has gotten me here. I started back in the corporate world. I mean, when I was, I guess, 14, started in sales at a convenience store, really. So I don't know if you call that corporate or not. But I fell in love with sales. I fell in love with learning about what people wanted and knowing it almost before they got there. Now, this is a horribly outdated example, but being 14 behind the counter of a convenience store, I felt proud when I knew what kind of cigarettes somebody was going to ask for before they came in. Now I know that's not a thing anymore, but there's my timeline. I've dated myself. And I also got excited about learning about people. And as I got deeper and deeper, I realized, hey, this ultimately is sales. Sales is relationships. It's not just about trying to get somebody to buy something. It's about engaging with someone to learn what they need and doing everything you can to help them get it. And so that shift changed everything for me. And my path was set. Now, my last name is DeMerchant. You could say that that's appears to be French for the seller. So maybe my path was set a little earlier on in my life, but I like to think that that's the point when I really decided that that's the route I was going to go. And so from ages 14 to 32, I did the corporate thing. I had the opportunity to either be frontline sales or running sales teams for some of Canada's, even North America's largest companies, RBC Royal Bank, London Life Insurance Company or Canada Life Insurance Company, Yorkville Education Company, Meritus University, which is the Canadian version of University of Phoenix, if you're familiar. And throughout that time, I learned a lot of things. I learned that I could make a lot of money for big companies. And I learned that they would pay me a little bit for it. And so I thought, what if instead of helping one company make a bunch of money and I get a little bit for it, what if I could help multiple companies make piles of money? Maybe I'd get a little bit more for it. And so in 2014, parted ways with this lovely team right here. This is my team at Yorkville Education Company or Yorkville University. And that was both the highest and the lowest point of my corporate career. I had a phenomenal team. This is them gifting me this Minnesota Vikings football helmet. Now I'm a Vikings fan, which if you're a Leafs fan in hockey, it's kind of the same thing. They've never won. I know the Leafs have won. The Vikings have never won, but maybe this is the year. And so I had a lovely team around me. We were supportive. We were breaking records, but I also felt burnt out, exhausted, and just wondering like what the heck was going to happen next. And at the same time, I looked at my dad, who was someone I'd aspired to be like. He had done the corporate thing as well with the New Brunswick Power Company. And he was retiring and learning the government was going to claw back his pension. I thought, this whole secure job thing isn't what it used to be. So I thought, you know what? Now's the time. I left Yorkville. I went off. I did finish my last year of a business degree at the University of New Brunswick. And then I took the leap. And by leap, I mean I picked up a part-time job while deciding to start my sales consulting company because I was terrified. But it wasn't long before I realized that that wasn't going to keep me focused and I had to go all in. And so March 2015, 2015, I went all in, even rented office space. By the way, if you run a virtual business, don't get office space. It was a silly thing for me to do, very expensive. But it did one thing for me. It forced me into a state where I had to go make sales because I had no backup. I had no savings set aside. I had to go make money or I wasn't going to pay my rent. And so it forced me to get 30 grand in sales in that first month, which was phenomenal. And it also forced me to do some things that previously I'd been scared of. For example, in that summer of 2015, I had an opportunity to co-author a book, Put Me in Coach, which became a bestseller, #1 in Canada, US, and Australia. I think it made top 10 in the UK. And so I can say I'm an Amazon best-selling author, which sounds really great in an introduction. But really, it's more about what it allowed me to do to push myself outside my comfort zone. So this entrepreneurial journey isn't just about creating a machine that'll generate revenue for you. It's not just about how to change people's lives. It's also about how to push yourself to the edges of your comfort zone. I had a mentor once tell me, everything you want in life is just outside your comfort zone. And I think someone else actually said another version of it before him. But it's so true. If you're willing to just go that little extra, it'll move the needle for you and make a big difference in many other people's lives. And so after the book, I decided to go further and I did something I never thought I would ever do. And I launched my own podcast. It's called Sales Team Rescue with Jeremy DeMerchant. We're about 132 episodes in, I think. We're on a bit of a hiatus right now while I do some things behind the scenes, but check it out. The beauty of this podcast is there's at least 60 or 70 episodes where I had guests on where I got to learn from other people that were doing things that could influence sales, whether it was running sales teams, someone who was a business partner with Tony Robbins. Man, he had a lot to say and was phenomenal. But even people that were just really good at LinkedIn or, different lead gen strategies. And so as I learned from all these people, I shifted how I looked at sales and thought, you know what, sales, although we can look at it in this specific box of the transaction, how do we close more sales? How do we make more money? But in the entrepreneurial world, you really need to look at it from a whole business perspective. And that's where I created the Elite Sales Blueprint. Now, I'm going to go over this in just as a moment. I'm going to take a sip of water here so I don't dry out. But the reason why this is important is because this is the structure, in fact, the lens that I now look at all business through. And my clients do the same. And so I'll go through it quickly. And then we're going to reference back to it throughout the rest of the content. The first thing here is exposure. And the idea is, how do you take someone who doesn't know you exist and turn them into someone that does know you exist? Very simple, right? It's sort of like, hi, nice to meet you. Or, you're jumping in front of somebody. In the online world, it could be somebody sees you because their mutual friend were tagged in a post, as an example. Okay, this is just how to get someone that has no idea you exist to know you exist. But from there, what kind of experience do they create if they go searching? If you see someone that intrigues you, there's some kind of content, maybe there's an ad you see, maybe it's someone you see at an in-person networking event, and they just catch your attention for whatever it is, whether maybe they're well dressed, they walk with confidence, or someone's talking about them. You're going to go look them up. Well, there's an experience that you're going to have in researching them, and they don't even know it. So we're going to turn that in reverse and look at what that means for you and your business. But from that experience, how do we then take them from essentially researching you, judging you, creeping you, to being engaged? How do we get them to say, yes, hey, I'm paying attention. Yes, Patrice, I'm here. Look, I'm willing to give you my name, my email for that resource. I'm willing to engage on your social media posts. I'm no longer just a lurker. I'm willing to let you know I'm paying attention. And then from there, how do we move them into enrollment, which is that sales process, the conversation, the follow-up. And then when you finally do close that sale, how do you create a killer experience and really execute to the level that makes this client a raving fan and want to go tell their friends? So that's the framework. That's the setup. But I want to dive into the first step. But before I do, based on what I've said so far and what you came into this session looking for, tell me in the chat, what's one thing that I could touch on today that would absolutely move the needle for you from a sales perspective? Just throw it in the chat. Because if there's a chance that I can throw something else in as we go that's going to move the needle for somebody, I want to do it. But we've got some good stuff ahead. Okay. So go ahead and fill up the chat. I'll pay attention. Closing handling objections. Okay. Awesome. How to qualify clients. Awesome. Okay. Excellent. So keep piling them in there. And I'm going to keep on going with what I have. And then we're going to loop back to this stuff because I think there's some things that'll really move the needle for you there. So first thing is step one. How do you increase your visibility? Now, this is really simple. I don't want to call myself lazy, so I'm going to call myself efficient. And because I'm efficient, I don't want to risk having somebody find me and them not knowing that I can help them. And so the first thing we want to do, I'm going to call it passive exposure. This is that exposure level in the blueprint you saw. How do we make sure that when somebody finds you, they know that you can help them? Let's not lose that prospect. So I'm just going to hit these really quickly on your website. There's experts that talk about these things throughout this week anyway. SEO, I know Laura is going to speak. Um, SEO is so phenomenal. I'm not an expert in it. She is. To whatever she tells you. Lead capture. Make sure your website has a way to collect the information. Don't make it so people have a hard time giving you their data if they're on your website. I also want you to have some kind of chat capability. Now, put your hands up, and I can see some of you. Put your hands up physically if you've ever been on a website with a live chat that didn't seem like there's anybody live at the other end. Frustrating, right? You sit there and wait and wait and wait and wait, and it can actually have a negative experience. Well, as part of the process of helping people enhance their sales experience, I've actually added a software component into my mix. And so I've got a software platform now called Sales Edge that can allow you to put a chat widget on your website that is actually text based. So somebody can send a message through this chat widget through your website. It comes to you through text, and they don't have to be sitting in front of a screen waiting for that live agent that never comes. You can automate a response and then get back to them when you have a chance, and they get that information and that engagement right through their cell phone. Okay, so that's super valuable as well, because if people can't get what they want when they land on your site, they're going to go to the next person. And that's heartbreaking, because if you happen to get that one person that is your dream client, they're ready for you, but you're not ready for them. Well, it's just like that. It's just heartbreaking. So I would encourage everyone to add some type of chat capability to their website. Fourth piece on the website is reviews. Now, this isn't necessarily about getting reviews on your website or through your website, but you want them on there. But I will say this. I have a client that I work very closely with who is a financial advisor. And the single most impactful thing we did to have him get more business through search was reviews. So when people are looking for you, make sure your Google My Business is set up and get those reviews. I see you're asking about that. Yes, I'll put the in the chat here. Sorry. Salesforce.io. That's the platform. Sorry. So, and I'll mention the reviews again in a second, but that is the needle mover. If you don't have reviews on what you're selling, your products, your services, you need to make that a priority. Social media profiles, this is still the same idea. Make sure you're ready for people when they're ready for you. Make sure your message across your platform profiles are consistent. Make sure there's a call to action. What's some way that you can get people to engage? These are free prospects or free leads that are looking for you. And if you don't have this set up, you're losing them. One of the easiest ways to get more sales is just to have more people go through your process. And this is the low-hanging fruit. And finally, local directories. So if you're a local business, if you support local, be in the local directories. Make sure that you're everywhere, because people are going to search you. We're going to talk about this in a second. But make sure you're listed everywhere you possibly can be. If you're not local, there's other directories you can be in as well. Online directories. There's hundreds or thousands of them. Find the ones that are most relevant to where your audience is at and be there. Make sure you're an option for them. Any questions about that? All right. So, action step. I want to challenge you. For each of these, I'm going to give you a challenge. I challenge you to go get 10 reviews in the next month. Google reviews. Sure, it's great to put them on Facebook, but people search Google first. Go get 10 Google reviews. Make sure your Google My Business is set up, your Google business profile is set up, and drive people to review. Just ask. Find 10 people, whether they're happy clients or people that just have known you for a long time and know you're amazing. Ask them to go leave a review for you, and they'll do it. But ask them directly. What if you're not allowed to do reviews to my colleague? Oh, yeah. Well, if you're not allowed to do Google reviews, so if the restriction around the question, in case you guys can't see it, okay, so for psychotherapists, all right, Thea, I would say this. I would ask people if they're willing to, and it doesn't have to be, if it being on Google causes an issue, that's one thing. But if you can, if you can just get the permission to go ahead and post, like, they can still give you a review You might need to change their name, like Jane Smith might need to become Melanie C. Can't believe I just made a Spice Girls reference in a public presentation here.
You can
But
also Google reviews.
so, can we do that? Well, so I'm going to tiptoe here really quickly. Google wants the person to leave the review, so they would need to leave their name. In the absence of a Google review, if you can do a case study and just put the details on your website, that will at least help when people land on your site. It doesn't solve the issue with the Google bumping that we really want, but any reviews you can have are better than none. Even if it's a case study that you're changing the person's information, but the impact is the same. You can't personally have a Google review, but if your business is not under your name, good question. So if this is what I would say to the question. So you can't personally have a Google review, but if your business is not under your name, is there a caveat? Okay. I would say this. I've had people leave reviews for me on my LinkedIn, for example, that'll say, hey, Jeremy's a great guy, very thorough. Love the impact he's had in my life. And they'll leave that under my business name because it's me. So if you can create a Google business profile, drive people to that. And I'll come back to this as well if you got some more questions at the end, because I want to make sure we get through everything. But I think that this is a really good topic to dig deeper into. Okay, so I will make sure we circle back to that. Step 2. Now, this is sort of like a part 2 to the exposure. I'm going to call it active exposure. Be where your clients are looking. So this is to build on top of it. But I want you to start showing up either in person or online at networking events. Now, you don't have to go crazy. Don't fill your calendar and make this like your whole business is now networking. Don't do that. But choose one thing. One of the most effective ways to build trust is to show up in front of where people are at consistently. So again and again. So don't just go to the local chamber or board of trade networking event once and think it's going to change your business. It's not. People at those events, they're clicky. They got their little circle, and you need to show up 3, 4, 5 times before they're going to let you in. But once you do, they'll start paying attention. If you show up once and never come back, you might as well have stayed home. But if you can build these, and this is about relationships, right? This isn't about, hey, I'm here. It's about the relationship. So Chamber of Commerce is huge and Board of Trade. I've been involved with Toastmasters for 10 years, 11 years. Longer than I've had my family. So Toastmasters, if you're not familiar with it, it is technically a public speaking group, but it also is a heck of a way to network, and it'll change your life. Toastmasters.org. If you want to learn more, or message me. BNI as well as a networking group, much more formalized, a little more expensive, but also very effective. So find something that works for you and just make it something you do on a regular basis. Just commit to not miss it. All right, VP of Public Relations. Oh, Ajax Pickering. Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, so lots of opportunity for Toastmasters. And just when you go into Toastmasters, don't be afraid to tell people what you do. Okay, I'm a distinguished Toastmaster, and my first 10 speeches were all about my business because I was practicing to be in front of customers. So it also gives other benefits like that. So I mentioned online. I want online groups as well. So these are just some examples, depending on your audience and what you're selling. Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups might not be as relevant, but find somewhere online that is relevant. It doesn't matter what it is. Find a group. It can be a Reddit feed. Okay, whatever you're into, wherever your audience is, show up. And this isn't just showing up and going and pitching your stuff. Find people that have problems and show them that you have the information to solve it. Okay, one of the components of my software platform is it will allow you to build an affiliate program, which we'll talk about in a minute. And so I go around answering people's questions about how to launch an affiliate program. They don't have to use my software for me to show them, give them the tips. In fact, I've got a free email program about how to do it. I absolutely walk you through how to do it with my software, but you don't have to. All right. So jump in those communities, network, give feedback, support people. And if you help them win, you inevitably will win as well. Okay. So here's your challenge. Commit to attending at least one event per month. If it's a Toastmasters, maybe it's one per week, depending on the club, but find something online, in person. I've got a Toastmasters meeting that I can attend this afternoon that I could go either in person or stay at home and do it online, which I probably will, because let's be realistic, it's 2024. Who wants to put on pants, right? You get smiles? Anybody? Okay. So pick something that you can, where you can show up on a regular basis in front of people that either could be your clients or could refer you to clients. Right? Very important. Number 3, create an unforgettable experience. So after they know you exist, they're going to creep you. And again, in 2024, that's not a bad term anymore, believe it or not. They're going to search you online. Where are they going to look? They're going to look on Google. They're going to look on Facebook. And they're going to look, well, anywhere else, probably YouTube as well. So here's what I want you to do. Google yourself. I try to do it once every 90 days. Google myself, see what comes up. When I last Googled myself, I found out that somebody had ranked Sales Team Rescue, my podcast, as the #2 podcast in Canada. Now, he wasn't like a big authority body or anything, but I'll take it. That feels good. But you also might find things that you don't want out there. A lot of people have old social media posts that maybe we want to go and mark private. So here's what I would do. Go search yourself on Google first, see what shows up. Because if you walk in a room at a networking event and you get someone's attention, they're going to go search you. So look at Google, look at Facebook from the perspective of someone you're not connected with as a friend. So what's the public see when they're not a friend? Don't just lock it down. Let some stuff be public. Control it. But if you have nothing public, people have nothing to be interested in and they'll just go on to the next thing. YouTube, if you've got a YouTube channel, what are people seeing when they're not subscribed? What's that initial video that pops up when they're not subscribed? Check that. Make sure it represents what you want it to represent. And LinkedIn, same thing. What can people see publicly about you? These are also things that will pop up in a Google search. If you search me, you're going to see my podcast. You're going to see my consulting company, my software company. You're going to see some stuff about my university when I went to it. Piles of content. And I also found people that have taken my content and put it up on their website. I mean, it's still me. So, they're still giving me credit. So it doesn't hurt my feelings. It's good. I just wish they link back and give me some SEO credit for it. But do this, be aware, because you never know what's out there. And you want to control this. Think of this as important as if you were to do like paid traffic, which I'm not even going to touch on in this presentation, but this is just as important as making sure a Facebook campaign is built out properly or a sales funnel is mapped out properly. This is what people see about you before they get to know you. This is the first impression. Okay. Now, the second part is let's control some of that content and let's leverage video. The reason why I like video is because it gives people a really good impression of you. Let me rephrase that. I don't look at this as good or bad. It gives them an accurate impression of you. They get to learn your style, your mannerisms, your attitude, your personality, and that's what people connect with. Now, if you are running a business that has 5,000 employees, maybe you don't need to be the face of it, but you need some content going out that represents the business. But somebody should be doing this. Get a vibe for the company, get a vibe for you. And some easy ways are, if you're doing podcast interviews, use the videos, put them out. This presentation is going to go on YouTube. Awesome. And you can also just do tips or training or whatever it is. Just start recording yourself. And maybe you're doing this anyway and just not sharing it publicly, but make it available because Google owns YouTube. And that makes YouTube the #2 search engine. Use it to your advantage. Okay. So my action or my challenge for you in this note is decide on the easiest way to create public video content for your prospects. Make it easy. I don't want you to have to do this whole production. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a big studio. Turn on your cell phone. When I started, it was selfie videos. It was I grabbed my phone, I sat back, make sure I get in the camera, and I just did this, and I shot the videos, and then I posted them, and then I started. Maybe you shouldn't do this now, but I started recording while I was in the car driving to the gym. I just would go and push record, and I'd ramble about something, and then first I would be nervous and want to watch it all before I posted it, and oh no, and I delete it. Then I stopped caring, and I just recorded and hit post, recorded, hit post, and suddenly people were messaging me saying, "Hey, I love your content. Hey, keep it up." I would run into somebody in Costco who I hadn't seen in 10 years, and they're talking about my content that they love it. They had been someone that was creeping in the background that they'd never put their hand up and engaged, but they were consuming. So find a way to build a video into it. Step 4, engage and nurture relationships. So this is now they've made a decision that, you know what, Patrice, I like your style, I like your attitude. I'm open to looking at what you're doing, and maybe you're someone that can help me. I want you to start focusing on training your audience. Now, this isn't like training them like a dog. Let's not, I don't want to be sound condescending or anything, but your audience will react based on, you ever heard the phrase, people treat you how you train them to treat you? Who's heard that? So your audience is the same way. Don't let them treat you as just passing content. Encourage them. Not everybody's going to do it, but encourage them to take action on something. Invite them for the free resource. Ask them to like and share, or give them a challenge, give them homework. On every slide, I've talked about, here's your action item, go do something, right? Do that online as well. Do it in person. Simple things like if someone wants to work with you, but they're not quite there yet. Hey, you know what? Go out and shoot a video and just get over that challenge, So just push them, challenge them to do something that brings them towards you in the buying process, in the sales process. But ultimately, train them to engage in your calls to action. It can be social media, it can be in person, it can be in email marketing. But train them. Don't be worried about if I ask for too much or if I pitch too much, are they going to hate me? Now, I wouldn't pitch a sale every time you post content, but video can also be deleted or archived later. True, exactly. But I don't delete them. The old one, the first video I ever shot, still sitting on my YouTube channel. Go check it out if you want. It's a dicey one, but it's still there. It's giving me social cred. So challenge yourself to do this to keep the audience engaged. The second piece is automate your touch points. So you've probably heard that it takes somewhere between 5 and 12 touch points for a sale to close. Well, those aren't the real numbers. It's actually more like 7 to 28 or more. Sometimes we're busy. Whether you're on your own or you have a team, it's a challenge to make sure that everybody that shows up in your world gets enough touch points to move forward in the sales process. And so let's automate part of it. One, automate social replies. There's certain systems, my system's one of them, where if you're doing messaging through a business page and say, hey, post keyword in the comments and I'll send you my thing. So maybe I say post gift in the comments and I'll send you my free resource. And they do. You can have a system automate that. So you don't have to be sitting there doing it manually. You can automate, like if somebody opts in for something like I showed you the Elite Sales Blueprint. If you sign up for that, you're going to get an email delivering it to you. And there's some follow-up emails you'll get. I want to keep you engaged, but I'm not going to sit here and manually send you all these emails, right? So automate these touch points. And then when somebody does come into your world for the first time, they've taken that step to put their hand up and engage and say, hey, yes, I'm paying attention. Make sure they have an opportunity to learn more about you. Send them some kind of nurture sequence, whether it's emails or videos or whatever it is. Let them learn a little bit more about you and your story, because they're going to connect with you as a person. Whether your company is a 1-person shop, a 30-person shop, or a 300-person shop, they still care about your story. So let them know who you are. But you don't have to tell everybody one at a time. Automate it. So here's my challenge. If you don't have a follow-up process in place, really simple, I want you to map a simple follow-up plan for people you meet this week. They don't even have to be prospects. I've got prospects right here. People you meet in this group, some that you could be a connection, that could be a future relationship. Your next speaker that comes up, I've known for 7 years, 8 years, because we met in a membership program. So, and we built that relationship, and now we meet every single week. If my main source is Instagram, could you give me an example of nurture? Sure. So you could, so if there's 2 ways. One, you can have people go um, and opt in for something that allows you to give a nurture sequence through email. So get my free gift, they're in your email system, and then you can give them the nurture sequence that way. Or if you've got certain technology, you could automate it. And maybe it's just, hey, like maybe it's a multiple step process where say, hey, great to meet you. I'm curious what got you interested in following me. And then maybe the next step is, hey, I just wanted to share a little bit more about me so you understand where I'm coming from. And then maybe the next step is, this is how I built my business to where it's at. And in each of those, have some kind of call to action or like a nudge to watch out for the next message. Think of it as like we've had the opportunity now to be having a chat here for 37-ish minutes. You know a bit about me now. But I also don't have 37 minutes for every person that just shows up and I don't know that they're in my system, right? So build this out to automate it. So whether it is email, whether it's Instagram, you can build this out, and it's just in Instagram, it's going to be a DM, or a one-to-many approach is you can actually just once every 6 months or so, hey, in case you don't know who I am, and put it out there as almost like a nurture sequence to your whole audience. No one's going to complain if it's only once every 6 months. All right, now step 5, implement a follow-up system. All right. Who here has a CRM? All right, not enough hands. Post in the chat how you are tracking your prospects and customers right now. If it's a spreadsheet, it's okay. I just want to fix it like yesterday. But here's the thing, a CRM, a lot of people feel like a CRM, which stands for customer relationship management or client relationship management or contact relationship management, depending on who you ask. Okay, constant contact, HubSpot. Perfect. Okay. So we've got some systems here. You need some place to make your life easier. You don't want to forget important things about somebody's life or about your engagement, but you also can't hold it all in your head. So have some kind of CRM. It could be a free one. It could be a paid one. Sales Edge is also a CRM, shameless plug. But where you can store the notes about your prospect, or you can stay on top of, hey, I said I'd call them on Tuesday. Something that'll give you that nudge, that reminder. Something that can also track your sales opportunities. If you want to sit down and look at what you've got going on for the month, and not just what's going on, but where you want to be, what do you need to do to get the certain amount of revenue that you're looking for by the end of the month? What's your goal? What's your target? How close are you? If you don't have some way of tracking the sales opportunities, you're definitely not going to hit your goals because you're not paying attention to them. Now, can you do it through spreadsheets? You can. It just takes a whole lot more effort. So find something that works for you. But I would encourage you to have some kind of system and not a spreadsheet, because it's too easy to lose them. And if you need someone else on your team to take over for you, they don't know what's going on in a spreadsheet, usually. Second part of the follow-up system. Okay, we mentioned that 7 to 17 or 18 or even 28 follow-ups or touch points. Automate your emails. So whether it's an event-specific email or product-specific emails, automate them. One thing I used to do when I went to in-person networking events is CRM that I had at the time, and luckily mine does it as well, would allow me to scan a business card and I could program it to automatically send an email the next day. Hey, great to meet you at, insert a custom value. That was the event name that I had programmed. Would love to chat. Here's a link to book a 15-minute call. You can automate it. Product specific. Someone downloads my 5 C's of successful sales conversations, free resource. It's a 3 or 4 page PDF. But phenomenal results. Shows you how to close 5-figure sales. Then you're going to get a follow-up based on that. Because if you buy that, or you not buy, it's free. If you download that, I can assume that there's certain things that you're looking for that you need. So build that automation. Anything that you're doing over and over again, even if you need to sort of customize things, but the gist of it's the same, find somebody to use templates or snippets or something so that you're not always starting from a blank page when you're sending an email or a text. Create some kind of template to start from. Okay, just make your life easier. Can you automate emails without a CRM? Yes, sort of. I guess it technically depends on how you define CRM, because there's lots of ways people define it. You can automate emails. With Gmail, there's some free plugins that you can get that allow you to treat your emails as contacts. Like you can structure them in there. So it acts as like a simple CRM. And I think it lets you do some automation. I'm not 100% sure. At a minimum, you need some type of email marketing system to automate emails, unless it's like an out of office reply that Gmail will do. You could use email. Yeah, exactly. Yep. ConvertKit or Kit. Yeah. Another great option. Absolutely. So challenge for you on this one: create a simple email template that you can send to your prospects within 24 hours of meeting them. Simple. It can just write it into a notes app and copy and paste it for now. That's your starting point. You don't need to go and buy the Cadillac. Start with the scooter that'll get you down the road faster. Okay. And then you can build from there. But it can be simple. And you can, tweak them each manually, but create that, hey, insert first name. It was great to meet you at the Do It in Durham event. I really loved insert thing you liked about them. Would love to connect further. Here's my booking link. Signed, sincerely, and then copy and paste it and just tweak the things. Or if you've got this automated system, you can just plug it in and it can automatically fill in those values for you. All right. And finally, as we keep on our time, number 6, leveraging an affiliate program. So this is what gets me most excited, and it's probably the most misunderstood component of what I teach people. You have clients that could be raving fans, and they will go and tell people about you. But your clients also have other priorities in their life, like making sure the bills are paid, making sure their family's fed, making sure their car's running. And so it's not their job to go and promote your business. But we can incentivize them to prioritize it. And so why does this matter? Well, referrals convert at a much higher percentage than any other lead source. No matter where you get leads, you will always have a higher conversion rate with referrals. So why would you not just go ask somebody? And people actually feel good referring people. If you've got a good product or service, people want to send people your way because they feel good, like they're connected. You see people talk about, I got a guy for that. I got a gal for that. Come talk to me. I got a guy or a gal for everything. I will connect you, and I'm going to give you an affiliate link and tell you about it. By the way, here's my link. Use this and you'll get something. I'll get something too. Let's incentivize people to do it. Just because you did a great job for someone doesn't mean they're going to spend their day, every day thinking about how they're going to promote your business. But if you can actually design a proper affiliate program, have an actual referral fee or an incentive, then you can actually give them that financial incentive, and then they can prioritize. With my software, for example, I give a 25% recurring affiliate fee. You send somebody my way, they sign up for my platform, you're going to get paid every month that they stay on. If you send me enough people, you could create an income stream out of it. and all you got to do is introduce people. So when you structure a program, you incentivize them to keep you top of mind. And when you have a formal structure, it creates confidence in your audience. Man, look, Jeremy's got his act together. He's got this whole thing built out and all this structure. Wow, this is really nice. And they can get more creative, and then you can train them on how to promote. And there's so many more things you can do. But if you just want to call it a referral system, great. Just make sure you've got something agreed upon. Like if somebody refers somebody to this program, I'll give them this thank you. Okay. Or this percentage or whatever it is. But I would encourage you to put some kind of system around it as soon as you can, because it's going to incentivize you to go further with it. And then suddenly you've got people that were raving clients turning into a commission-based sales force. And you don't pay a dime until you've made the money. So don't sleep on this. This is a game changer. So my action for you here, identify 2 to 3 of your happiest clients and ask them for a referral. You know, so ask them for a Google review while you're at it. Okay, so recap. Step 1, increase your visibility. Step 2, be where clients are looking. Step 3, create unforgettable experiences. Okay, that's where they're creeping you and you don't know it. Make sure you know what they're going to find. Engage and nurture your relationships. Implement a follow-up system. Okay, remember, somewhere between 7 and 28 touch points before some sales close. Make it easy on yourself. Business is hard enough as it is. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. And then finally, leverage an affiliate program. Now, that's the end of my presentation, but as a thank you to you guys, oh wait, before the thank you, I want you to put in the chat, what's the one thing you can take away from what I talked about today? Because I do want something actionable from you. How should you ask for referrals without seeming like you're asking for more money? Easy. Hey, Mr. Smith, it was such a pleasure working with you. I'm looking to expand my business. And before I go out and do any formal promotion, I thought you might know someone that would be interested in that spot. Is there someone that you think might benefit the same way you did from working with me? Just like that. Get out of the comfort zone. Beautiful. Yeah, my tagline for my company is actually get uncomfortable, get results. So I think that's huge. CRM affiliate program, video content. Awesome. All right. So here's the gift. So if you guys want to whip out your phones and scan this QR code, this is just going to take you to a page. It is going to ask for your name and email. So you're opting in. I'm not going to hammer you with a bunch of newsletter though. When you go through, it's going to take you to a page where you can download the Elite Sales Blueprint, that one that I showed you earlier. It's going to give you free access to my 7-day affiliate program email course. Okay, it's free. It's going to give you direct access to the 5 C's of Successful Sales Conversations, which is a 3 or 4 page PDF cheat sheet that helps you close 5-figure deals. And there's also a link there if you do want to know more about the software platform. So you can either scan that QR code or go to this link, and maybe I'll just scan the QR code. That's the easiest way. And I'm up for questions.
Before the questions start, I'm just going to take a moment to say thank you very much, Jeremy. That was amazing. A lot of, again, very tangible, useful steps that I think many of us can benefit from and implement right away, like you said. So like everything, put a time limit on it. It increases the momentum for sure, because now there's a great saying, oh, well, a few people have said it, right? We overestimate what we can accomplish in one day, but we underestimate what we can accomplish in a week. So it's something to consider. Keep it within a time limit as well. Thank you again. And for those of you watching this as a YouTube video, you've got all the contact information. I'm Patrice Esper, representing the Business Advisory Center of Durham. This is Do It in Durham Week. We're celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week. And we hope you know and recognize that you're not alone in your journey in entrepreneurship.